but my Goliath, standing in the shadow of the Almighty. I ain't lying, just testifying.
Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Naarah Bethel, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to be a good nurse preceptor. So I'm an ER nurse. I've been an ER nurse for about 6 years now, and I spend a lot of time training new grads as well. And they always tell me how good I am with them as far as how I interact with them, how I teach them the skills, and try to give them bits and tips on how to be good nurses. So I wanted to do a video on how to be a good nurse preceptor. So first is first, what is a nurse preceptor? A nurse preceptor is a nurse or a registered nurse who's got at least 2 years experience and is there to provide guidance, feedback, and a positive work environment for a new graduate nurse. So a preceptor is also there to be a temporary role model for the new grad nurse to help them orient to the unit so they can learn how to interact with patients, how to interact with staff, how to interact with physicians, and also how to do the nursing skills in the live environment, if you want to call it, because nursing school is not really a live environment. So they get to work with the patients, learn how to give medications the right way to patients, how to do nursing skills, I put in a Foley and all that. So the nurse preceptor is a very, very important step for a new grad nurse. And the type of nurse preceptor you end up having can make or break your nursing career. This is very detrimental because a lot of nurses leave the nursing profession within the first year because they're either being bullied or they have nurse preceptors that are not being of support to them when they first come out as new grad nurses. So it's important for a nurse preceptor to have good qualities, and not everyone that's got years experience is a good nurse. So we have to make sure that we're picking the right people as nurse preceptors for new grads. First tip, you have to make sure that you understand the role that you're playing for the new grad. As a nurse preceptor, it's your responsibility to make sure that the new grad nurse or the transfer nurse or the student nurse is comfortable and confident in their abilities to perform their nursing skills and make decisions for the patient as well. This makes sure that the clinical setting is an environment where it's safe for you, the new grad, and the patient. And you make sure that you're also following cultural competency and all the I forget the name, but it's like all the new policies and procedures, evidence-based practice. That's what it is. So yeah, just make sure that you're following evidence-based practice when you are training your new grad nurse so that they're learning the best and newer skills that are geared towards safe patient care. The next tip is to make sure that you motivate the new grad. Just make sure that you are inspiring them and that you're motivating them, because a good, successful preceptor is somebody who can uplift somebody else and make them confident in their skills to be on their own when it comes time for them to be on their own. You have to stay positive, offer positive feedback. Even negative feedback should be done in a place of grace and understanding, and not where you're attacking them and belittling them in front of the patient or in front of other staff. You do it with grace. Tell them what they did wrong outside of the patient care and explain to them why they did it wrong and how to do it right, and make sure that they follow through with that the next time. The next skill that you need to have as a good nurse preceptor is to be able to clearly communicate. Communication is very important in the healthcare setting. If you don't know how to communicate, you have to work on that skill, because you're going to be communicating with doctors. You're going to be communicating with respiratory. You're going to be communicating with nurse managers. You're going to be communicating with so many people in the healthcare setting, especially when you're working on the day shift. So you got to make sure that you have clear communication and that you hone in on that skill. And if that's a skill that you're not good at, just make sure that you tell your preceptor so your preceptor can help you in that area so you can get better at it. So it's basically being polite to patients, being firm in your ways, delegating responsibilities, and allowing the new grad nurse to make mistakes that are not detrimental to the patient. And also make sure that you're having communication back to that the new grad nurse as well. You're able to help them in their role as a new grad nurse, because a lot of people are very, very shy and not as confident when they first come out as a new grad nurse. So you just have to give them positive feedback, get them feeling, yeah, I can make decisions. My decisions are right. This is why I made that decision. And just let them explain that to the patient. It builds confidence when they go up to the patient. The patient asks them, why are you giving me this medication? And they know why they're giving it and what it's for. That makes the patient feel good and also makes the new grad nurse feel confident in their skill. So that is very important. The next skill that is important to have as a nurse preceptor is to remain objective. Your role is to assist the new grad nurse and train them in the medical profession. So you must not take anything that they fail at personally. Everyone has a good day and a bad day, their strengths and their weaknesses. You must remain level-headed and objective, and you must behave in a way that is positive and not detrimental to the new grad nurse. You don't want to portray anything negative to them or display any negativity towards them because they failed at something. It's not a personal thing, it's a learning environment. You have to make it a learning environment for them so they can feel comfortable in making mistakes and fixing those mistakes. But make sure that this is not a mistake that is detrimental to the patient. The next skill that is important to have is to be open to constructive feedback. So no one's perfect, not even the nurse preceptor. So every new nurse must know that they're going to make a mistake and that it's okay for them to come to you with their mistakes. We can fix the mistakes and then figure out how the mistake was made and how to prevent it next time. So you must be able to accept feedback and be able to give criticism back constructively and admit when you're wrong as well. The preceptor and the nurse, new grad nurse, because new grad nurses also learn new things when they come from new programs. We've been nurses for longer, so we don't have the same knowledge as all the new things that are coming out. So they also have knowledge. So if we're wrong, we have to make sure that we're also being mindful to be accepting of the criticism when we are also wrong, and not just assume that we're correct because we have more nursing experience. Number 6 is to make sure that you're building a mutually beneficial relationship where you both are able to criticize and be around each other and have a good time even when you're taking care of patients. You must be able to lift each other up when you're down. One of them, be able to have a relationship where you have a give and take, and you're able to have good days, bad days, and still be able to work together and have a good environment where we can both learn and be nurse leaders. The next skill that is important is to be able to offer praise and good feedback. So when a person is wrong, which we all have been wrong some point in our nursing career, it is your responsibility to make sure that you're saying so. It's also your responsibility to congratulate the new grad nurse when they exceed expectations. Feedback that goes hand in hand with praise. Feedback that it goes hand in hand in an environment where everyone is supportive, they have a good give back and give and take relationship, makes it easier for the new grad nurse to come back the next day and say, okay, I'm starting over today. Yesterday I did this great. Today I'm going to do this great. That's such a great environment for people to want to come back, because we have a hard time keeping people, especially in the emergency department, because it's such a fast-paced environment. We have so many people not wanting to come back or not wanting to continue their career in nursing in the emergency department, and all areas of nursing needs nurses. So we got to make sure that we're able to give praise where praise is deserved, especially when they exceed expectations, and then talk about how they can exceed expectations in areas where they're not as strong in. You have to be personable. So you don't have to be someone's best friend, but you have to be their best friend on the job as your colleague. So you don't have to go out and hang out outside of work. It's not a requirement. You just have to be able to work with each other whilst you're working on the job. So you should be able to freely share your wisdom and your experience with your new grad nurse so they can feel comfortable. Talk about your worst days, your best days, what you did wrong, your mistakes, what your strengths are, so they can feel like they're personable with you, and that you're also human, and that you also made mistakes when you were a new grad, and this is where you are now. That way they can feel like, okay, well, I may make mistakes now. My preceptor made mistakes too, so I see where they are now, and I'm gonna get there and with time. Next is to make sure that you're setting clear expectations. So every emergency room has its own standards of levels of care, and it's very vital for all new grad nurses to learn the right way, how to do things, following protocols. So it's vital that the new grad nurse learns everything the right way, and then they accomplish it according to standards, so that the standard of care for the patient is not changed. I have seen so many times where new grad nurses are being trained the wrong way, and they're not following the standards of practice, and then they're concerned with why they're not progressing in the emergency department after they've been let go. It's because they were not taught the right protocols and procedures, and that's why they have fallen away from doing things the right way. And the people that really suffer is not just the new grad nurse, but the patient as well, and that's not negotiable. You have to make sure that there's clear expectations for the new grad nurse, the employee. You set goals, and they usually have a checklist that they have you go through. Like the first week, you're going to have one patient, or so like the first week, like I was saying, you're either going to start IVs, you're going to be starting, the next week, you're going to be starting hanging medications on patients, or giving medications this route, and knowing what the medication does, and then explaining it to the patient. Just different things that you learn along the way as you're going as a new grad nurse. The next is to make sure that you're encouraging a healthy work-life balance. It is very important for all new grad nurses to make sure that they're having a good work-life balance, because nursing is stressful as it is, especially if you work in the emergency department as a new grad. All the new protocols, all the new procedures you're going to be learning on the job can be very overwhelming, and you have to have a balance outside of work. This can look like going to run, going on a walk, going to the sauna, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, balancing your relationships outside of work. Just all these things have to be balanced in order for you to be able to function as a new grad nurse to the best of your capabilities. So these are some of the skills that you need to have as a new grad, as a nurse preceptor, in order to make sure that your new grad nurse is successful. First, you have to know the role you're playing in the new grad nurse's life. You have to be motivating. You have to clearly communicate. You have to remain objective, give constructive, positive feedback, have a beneficial mutual relationship, give praise and feedback, be personable, set clear expectations, and make sure you're encouraging a healthy work-life balance. I hope this was helpful out there for anyone. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Yeah, we got a